Today, the eyes of the world are on Ukraine and the brave people who are fighting to protect their country and their democracy. And their bravery is a reminder, a most recent reminder, that justice, equality, and freedom must never be taken for granted by any of us.
Mr. President, should Americans be worried about nuclear war?
No.
The biggest concern on the side of the Russian invasion of Ukraine is the potential impact on gas prices in the U.S. And the president is focused on working with allies to do what he can, whether that is coordinated, releases from our strategic petroleum reserves, whether that's, using any tool he can. But we recognize that that is one of the bigger risks. The economic risk will hinge on the length of this war. And the more quickly it is resolved, the smaller the impacts, the longer it goes on, the deeper the uncertainty.
I said from the very beginning, Putin is a crazy person. He's a mad person. And this reaction is just demonstrate that fact. Altogether, Russia, under the official information of Ukrainian Minister of Defense, already paid 5,300 soldiers lost their lives during the last 5 days. Can you imagine? Every single hour, every single day, Russia lost 1,000 soldiers. This is significantly more than in Chechnya, in Syria, in Libya, or wherever in the world. This is the biggest price Russia ever paid for his mad, crazy president decision. Putin is expected to make a blitzkrieg with a very short period of time. On the second day of the war, he planned to capture Kiev. Instead of that, 5,000 lives of Russian soldiers go to hell.
Well, we've seen this pattern from President Putin over the course of the last several months and even before then, where he manufactures a threat in order to justify greater aggressive action. This is why it's so important for everybody to know and understand how President Putin uses rhetoric and uses threats. Well, the president wants to be direct, has always wanted to be direct with the American people about what he will do and what he will not do. He is not sending U.S. forces, men and women who fight for our military, into Ukraine to fight a war with Russia. We are not going to have a military war with Russia with U.S. troops.
What we also have seen is Ukrainians resisting quite effectively around Kyiv and continuously. They have made it a tough slog for the Russians to move further south. Make no mistake, Mr. Putin still has at his disposal significant combat power. He hasn't moved all of it into Ukraine, but he's moved the majority of it.
Vladimir Putin doesn't recognize the right of Ukrainians to exist in the framework of their own identity, their culture, their state. We will not surrender. For us, it's a matter of survival.
We have bolstered our presence in the region and are fast-tracking immigration applications for Ukrainians who want to come to Canada. Today, we are announcing that we will be supplying Ukraine with anti-tank weapons systems and upgraded ammunition. Of course, this is in addition to our 3 previous shipments of lethal and non-lethal equipment.
On Friday night, the president authorized an additional $350 million of military assistance in support of Ukraine's frontline defenders. I mean, even if you look at the impact on the energy sector, we have taken steps. We have not taken some steps on energy sanctions, in part because we weigh that. That doesn't mean they're off the table. They remain on the table. But Europeans, for example, are very concerned about further price spikes on gas in particular.